The Arizona State men's basketball team returned to the bank for the first time in the 2019-2020 season. They took on Central Connecticut State, and they truly outclassed them in a 90-49 victory. Now, leading the way for the Sun Devils was guard Rob Edwards. He had 23 points, 15 of which came in the first half. What made him so effective?
He did what Rob Edwards does best, and that's shoot the basketball. He's a sniper when he's out there on the floor, and he's a knockdown shooter. I think he was hindered a little bit last year by his back, had a couple issues, and there's a couple games where I don't think Sun Devil fans kind of saw his full potential because it might have been lingering on him a little bit. We saw him get pulled a couple times last year, but I think coming into this season, he's fully healthy, and you're starting to see some of the benefits of that. He had a really good game against Colorado in the opener, and then tonight has another really strong performance. I think probably one of the best plays of the night. You know, he had a couple knockdown shots, just dribble, penetration, kick out that he had, but probably one of the best plays tonight was right before the half. He has Romello White, gives him a down screen. They run the clock down to under 5 seconds, and he comes off the down screen, has his feet set. It's nothing but net. When he has his feet set and he's locked in like that, the back's healthy. He's one of the best shooters, not only in the conference, maybe in the country. He's a lockdown shooter.
Oh, Rob was definitely locked in there in the first half. One of the biggest disparities between the two teams was defensive pressure. Arizona State was all over the floor, forcing turnovers. We saw Jalen House, the true freshman. He did a great job of that. How did that change the game in Arizona State's favor, and how do they continue to do that against maybe some more talented opponents?
Well, Rob Edwards just said it in the postgame, his postgame presser and talking about his player, but Jalen House is an irritant, is what he called. I'd call him a pest. Just for opposing ball handlers, they're just so good defensively. That's a compliment to them, just in the face of opposing ball handlers, forcing turnovers. You saw that tonight with how many turnovers they were able to force. Had a lot of steals as well. And when you have Remy Martin and Jalen House, and then you put Rob Edwards, Alonzo Verge in the mix too, they just create a lot of pressure. And I know a lot of people have talked about kind of, is this the return of guard U? I'd say it's a different type of guard U. You know, you're used to seeing those guys who are kind of sharpshooters, running all over offensively. This team has a lot of floor generals, a lot of guys who can play the point guard position, and they have a lot of defensive ball pressure as well. So it's still guard U, I'd say. It's a new version of it, and it's a little bit a different style of play for the guards.
Well, no doubt they'll make any opponent struggle when they come play here at the bank. Now, in the second half of the game, Arizona State didn't play poorly, but they didn't play up to their potential. What went wrong?
I think it was just maybe a little bit of lack of focus. When you're in a game like that, and this is no disrespect to Central Connecticut State, but ASU was, the better team on paper and on the floor. And going into the home game like that, you're up at home, you're up big, and you can kind of play with your against yourself a little bit, and so you don't want to turn the ball over. Not that it was turnovers. I just think there was just some missed shots, maybe some offensive possessions that weren't their best possessions of the year, but they're able to force turnovers, get out in transition, and that's kind of where their points came. But I think when they're in these non-conference games against opponents who might be a little bit better, than just focusing on the little things, making sure that you're playing your style of offense, because that's going to be important when you get into conference play and you're playing some second half games that are close contests, and they're really physical and really tough to play against.
Well, speaking of non-conference opponents, the Sun Devils are back in action this Sunday against Rider College. For Andrew Bell, alongside Quinn Jamieson, thanks for tuning in to the House of Sparky postgame show.